When your pads become sticky enough to bother you, you'll need to clean them off. So you can hire someone to do this for you, but today I'm going to show you what I do, and not very often, only as needed. Okay? Now, the first thing is prevention. And prevention starts in your mouth. If your mouth is clean while you're playing your instrument, the saliva will be reasonably clean, and the pads will remain clean much, much longer. And I'm talking like years longer. Whereas opposed to if you drink syrupy substances, anything with corn syrup in it, or the worst thing is a cough drop. Oh, the cough drop is the stickiest, gooeyest thing to have in your mouth. After one cough drop, I've got sticky pads the very next day. That's number one. Brush your teeth, mouthwash, something. Keep your mouth clean while you're playing your instrument. The next thing you should do for prevention of sticky pads is to make sure that you clean out the inside of your instrument after every single use. There is a swab that is made to clean out the body of the instrument. I use something like this. All right, drop the heavy end in first. Goes down like that. Okay, make sure it's getting down to the bottom here, the bell and the curve area. Let it fall out the other side. Pull this way. Always do it in this direction because you want to pull the water out. You don't want to pull the water inside the horn. The next thing you want to do is to clean out the neck pipe. Now, usually I just take a paper towel and I wad it up into a little circle and I jam it in there. But I've also found that a clarinet swab works great. A clarinet swab happens to be just the perfect size, or you can find the alto sax neck swab, and I'm sure that's going to be fine too. There you go. Not exactly on the topic of sticky pads, but general hygiene. Please wash out your mouthpiece every time you use it. It's just like drinking out of a cup over and over again. How many times are you going to drink out of that same cup before you wash it? Okay, a little bit of mild soap and water, that's all you need. Wash off all the surfaces, just use your fingers. Do not use a brush or something abrasive that's going to scratch it. Okay, but do it every single day, please. The G sharp is an especially problem area for the saxophone. The G sharp is always shut, so when you put this away in your case, the G sharp is still closed. And if there is any residue that is formed, it is now sticking into the key and the metal and forming a little bit of a seal in there. So a good way to prevent the G sharp from becoming a sticky pad is to keep the G sharp open when you put it in the case and store it. Now, to keep the G sharp open, I learned from a tech that you simply open up the C sharp key, and see, it forces the G sharp to open. All you need is a business card. Take a business card, fold it up a few times, and then place it underneath the pad. It'll keep the pad open, and then you don't have to worry about it. This little bit of prevention is going to add a lot of time before it gets sticky. To clean the pads, you're going to want to choose what kind of product you're going to use. And I've tried hand sanitizer, doesn't work very well. The pads are sticky within minutes after using that. I was warned not to use alcohol wipes. Alcohol wipes are going to dry out the pad in a short amount of time, and after a few uses, that pad is going to become dry. When it gets too dry, of course, it's going to not even seal properly, and you'll have to replace it. So don't use alcohol wipes. I learned that back in the old days, people used to use lighter fluid. Now, lighter fluid, like alcohol, will dry the pad. However, it evaporates even faster than the alcohol does, and it also cleans the surface a little bit better. So if you don't mind, or if you think you can spare drying your pad just a little bit, go ahead and try lighter fluid. Now, like I said, I've been at this a long time. So after using lighter fluid a few times, I thought, this is getting a little bit dry. So I said, why don't we go ahead and go the opposite direction and use oil to clean the pad to make it moist. Now, at first, I thought, I don't know if this is actually going to clean the pad or not, but to my surprise, it did pretty well. So what kind of oils should you use? Well, it would just be anything that's super lightweight. This is a valve oil for trumpets. This is WD-40. Listen to this, see if you can hear the sound of the sticky pad. The next problem is, how do you get it onto the pad and how do you rub it? This works okay to try to clean your pads. This is called a flute cleaner, and you connect this onto the flute cleaning rod, and then you pull the water out of the flute with this absorbent pad. It's basically chamois cloth. Another thing that I can use to apply the oil onto the pad is this absorbent swab for the recorder. A third thing you can try is a Q-tip. Q-tips are good, except they don't reach into the little tiny, where the pad just barely opens a little bit. This is a straw brush, and this will get into little places that even the Q-tip might not fit into. The problem starts at the beginning of the instrument and goes down, so that's the order where I'm going to try to clean it. I'm going to be dripping some oil on the table, so you might want to prepare for that in advance. Okay, open up this key back here so you can see it, and I just take the brush inside there, rub it back and forth. If you take a look at your high F key, you might see a little collection of crystal forming. They'll be white crystals, and that is little salt deposits from your saliva. So this key needs to be cleaned far more often than the rest. Okay. And now I'm going to repeat this for other keys. Now maybe in areas where that won't fit, maybe this will. Let's try putting some oil on there, the chamois cloth. Open up the D sharp key. Yeah, there we go. I can fit it in like that. So at least this way, now I put just a tiny bit of pressure on the key and then I pull it off. And that way I know that I've dragged it over the surface of the pad, trying to create a little bit of a cleansing action upon the pad. All right, you'll get a little discoloration here. Again, that's the crud that you're trying to get rid of. This one, I heard a little sticky sound on this one. This is my hygiene key. Now the sticky sound is going to go away pretty much right away because it's oil, and the oil makes things smooth. But when the oil completely dries, that sticky sound might return. Either way, I am making a good effort to clean these pads. I see Natural has a much bigger opening. I think the Q-tip will fit in there well. Yeah, fits in there great. For me, the most common sticky pads are all those palm keys. Any one of those can get sticky, and down to the A natural key. Let me jump down to the D sharp, because that can be an issue for a lot of saxophones. Again, it stays closed, so it tends to get sticky. Me, however, because of my preventive measures of having, brushed my teeth, keeping clean, this is rarely ever an issue for me. Okay, so I'm going to open this up and then reach in here. And again, I'm trying to wipe around the whole surface of the pad. There we go. my C sharp. The low C sharp is always shut, so that will tend to get more residue collected. Just like that. And I'll even turn it upside down so I can pay more attention to the body, the metal rim here. Okay, that's definitely better. It's noisy, but it's not sticky. These are not sticky. Not really worried about those. Let's see, I play this saxophone a few hours every single week, and I have to do this pad cleansing maybe once every 2 years. Or heaven forbid, I eat a cough drop, then it's going to be the very next day. The low B flat and low B natural key. These pads open a little wide, so this brush will fit in here. Okay, I'm pretty happy with my work, and now it's time to clean up my mess. All right, thanks for spending time with me today in my little DIY project to clean up the pads. Now, if you feel any apprehension of doing this yourself, then don't. Hire someone to do it for you. All right, I'll see you guys next time.